What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to give you guys a quick market update as we've seen some extreme volatility this morning with the Fed news coming out. And I just want to update you guys because we do have some bearish signs popping up on the longer time frames. As you know, this has been happening for the past week or so. We've been looking at these bearish signs on the higher time frames, trying to see if they are going to confirm and indeed give us a big move down. And some alarming signs are popping back up on the chart. And I just want to cover this extreme volatility that we had this morning. And I'm going to give you guys the key levels that I am watching and where I am expecting price to go. So the CandleMafia is not left in the dark. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. So here we are on the Bitcoin weekly chart. And the first thing we have popping up that is looking pretty bearish for Bitcoin is something that we've been talking about all week as we've seen this yellow X start to print on the weekly time frame on regular candles. This is not showing up on the Heikin-Ashi candles, but it is on the regular candles. And if this confirms, it would be extremely bearish, in my opinion, for Bitcoin. And I do think it has the power to give us a pretty big move to the downside. Now, it's important to note we do have 2 days and 8 hours left to confirm this. So not set in stone just yet, but it popped up earlier this week and then disappeared. And now it is back as we've seen this extreme volatility happen this morning. We are now printing that red dot on the weekly, as well as having that yellow X would indeed, if confirmed, be very bearish for Bitcoin. Now, how bearish would this be? We're going to cover that in just a minute. But first, I do just want to cover the volatility that we had this morning, and I want to give you guys some key levels to keep an eye out for. Now, if you guys watch the channel, you will know that we have been watching basically the same levels for quite a long time now. Some of the main levels are going to be this value area high. You guys know, we were watching this and we were waiting for this level to break, because if this level broke and we wound up losing this level decisively, we were expecting a big move down to this range, basically where we are sitting right now. We were specifically waiting for a move down to the point of control coming in at 20,525. And you could see, we held it as support, lost it a little bit, but then held it again, held it as support. And then finally, we finally lost this level. And who knew, we moved right down to that point of control. Now, we didn't come directly down to that level immediately. We actually came down and landed and started closing candles on top of a high volume node / local golden pocket right here. And we actually just held this, bear flag for quite some time. And we were just kind of stuck here. Things got boring, but we finally broke out of this bear flag. And now we are starting to move our way right down to that point of control. So as expected, we are coming down to that point of control. Now, where do I think price is going from here? As you know, we did have a daily green dot printing here, obviously on the daily time frame. And this was the main thing that I was looking for to potentially get these bearish signals on the higher time frames invalidated, or to kind of make them disappear from the chart and not confirm. I was saying, if we get a big move out of this green dot, it could invalidate those signals. But unfortunately, you can see here, we printed that green dot and then almost immediately printed another red dot. So this is generally bearish. And where do I think the price is headed? Let's go to a lower time frame so I can give you guys some of the key levels that I am watching. Now, if these higher time frame bearish signals do confirm and we do start to lose this point of control, maybe we come down something like this, bearishly retest, I do think it is very likely that we will get a move down to the range lows here at about $18,825. You want to remember, you also have that $19,000 even level, which is going to give you a little bit of psychological support. So you might make a pit stop there. But the next major level I will be watching is the value area low. And this is one of the big reasons, guys, that I like to push the volume profiles so much on my channel. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, definitely go check out some of the volume profile videos I've made on the channel. But with the volume profiles, you basically get these 3 key levels of support and resistance. You get your value area high, your POC, and your value area low. And this is basically how I was able to predict this quick move down to this level here. The way volume profiles behave is your point of control right down here always acts as a magnet for price, as well as the value area. So I knew that if we lost this level, it'd be highly likely that we come closer towards this point of control, which we are currently coming down to test. And similar to that, if we do lose this POC, bearishly retest, it is likely that we will get sucked down to the value area low. And this would be the next level I'm looking for a strong bounce. Now, we do also have some more bearish signals popping up. We have been talking about this for a while, about a week now. We have been printing a red dot here on the 6-day time frame. 5-day has a confirmed red dot. We've been talking about these for a while. Like, hey guys, these are some bearish signs on the higher time frames. And again, when you're looking at these higher time frames and these bearish signals popping up on something like Market Cypher A, it is possible to get short-term moves to the upside on the lower time frames while the longer time frames are waiting to play out. I think a lot of people see these bearish signals on the higher time frames and they don't pay them much mind because they don't immediately play out, but they take time, and you can see them starting to come out to play today. So 6-day red dot, 5-day confirmed red dot, pretty bearish. And moving over to your 4-day, you do have that confirmed blood diamond right here, which is a very, very bearish sign in my opinion. And working our way down, your daily obviously did print that red dot pretty quickly after printing that green dot, which is bearish in my opinion. Coming to the 12-hour, you confirmed red dot on the 12-hour. Your 8-hour does have a confirmed blood diamond on regular candles. This is also a very, very bearish sign. And working our way down here, money flow kind of flat on the 4-hour. But before I let you guys go, I do want to touch very quickly on this weekly yellow X and where I think it could bring us if it does wind up confirming and playing out as drastically as, yellow X's tend to play out, right? So, basically, the way that you could kind of estimate this is if you come over to the 7-day, you can see that we printed a yellow X right here. And when we printed this yellow X, it did bring us down about 40%. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my ruler tool, expand the chart just a little bit here, and let's go ahead and measure this out. So if we start at the top of this wick that the yellow X started at right here, and we bring it down about 40%, let me zoom out a little bit, about 40%, it brings you basically right to the middle of this purple box. Now, why is this interesting? It's interesting because, as you guys know, this is the next level that I would expect. If we do wind up breaking those lows, I would expect our next major level of support to be in that 14 to 12K range. And that if this yellow X plays out somewhat like this one, it would bring us perfectly into that range. So this makes a lot of sense to me. If it is going to play out that way, it does seem like it could make a lot of sense. Another reason why it would make a decent bit of sense to come down here is if you measure from your all-time high and bring it down right to where that yellow X would bring you, it brings you down about 82%, right? Now, this is a much more realistic correction for this bear market, in my opinion. Now, I did make a video recently talking about how 17.5 could have possibly been the bottom, and we do a deep dive into the previous Bitcoin cycles in that video, and I kind of show you guys reasons why 17.5 might have been the bottom. So, but obviously, as you guys know, this is a trading channel, so we like to be ready in either direction. We want to be ready if it's going up or down because we can profit in either direction. So there is a chance that 17.5 was the bottom, but I am saying if we break those lows, I think it is likely this is the next range we come down to. And there's multiple reasons why it makes sense. 82% correction makes a lot more sense than a 74% correction, in my opinion, just because, in the 2013-2014 bull market, we saw about an 86% correction. And then in 2017-2018, we saw about an 84% correction, which is a little bit less severe than the previous cycle, which makes sense as the market matures. And in the previous cycle, we dropped 2% less than the cycle before that. And in my opinion, it would make more sense to drop 2% less in this cycle rather than 10% less in this cycle. But you want to remember, nothing is impossible. Like I said, there are also reasons showing that 17.5 could be the bottom. But in my opinion, if we lose these levels, I do think that 14 to 12K range is the likely next stop. Here's kind of one way I can see this playing out is we confirm this red dot on the weekly chart, and we confirm the yellow X on the weekly chart. Price comes down to make a lower low, potentially maybe comes down to that 14K level, somewhere in this range, right? And then we start to get a bounce, and then your momentum wave comes down, but does not make a lower low, and indeed makes a higher low. creating that bullish divergence on the weekly time frame, which would be unbelievably bullish and could mark the bottom of this bear market if we have not already bottomed. So, and then one other way, maybe this plays out, as you guys know, in that video that I linked above, if you watch that, I kind of talk about how our current cycle looks a little more similar to our 2013-2014 cycle than it does to the 2017 cycle. Because if you come down here, we might see something similar play out here, where we have one green dot on the weekly chart, and then we come up a little bit, print that red dot, only to come down and make a lower low on the weekly momentum waves, which would give us another double green dot on the weekly time frame right down here, which would mark the bottom, similarly to how it did in 2014-2015. You get your double green dot, that's the bottom of the bear market. 2017 is looking a little different. That had one double green dot marked the bottom of the bear market, and then right here you get your double green dots, which could potentially mark the bottom of the bear market. So again, if we do come lower, these are a couple scenarios that I do see potentially playing out as the bottom. If you guys are interested in seeing my case for the bottom already being in, definitely go check out that video that I linked in the card earlier. And just to update you guys on my current open positions, our Matic short is still open, up about 37% at this point. So pretty happy how that one turned out. And then still stuck in this Bitcoin scalp long, but it was a smaller position for me. So I'm letting this ride. I might close it early, but I think I might just let this ride. If I get liquidated on this, it's personally a very small position for me. So I'm not worried about it. And we are hedged with this short. But nonetheless, this Matic short actually played out perfectly. We were able to call that bearish divergence on the daily. And if you guys are wondering how I got into this Matic short, I'll just kind of give you a quick rundown here of what I saw, because it was a pretty no-brainer setup here. So as you can see, we did have Matic coming up to a big area of resistance on the daily time frame. We had some horizontal levels of resistance, as well as, I believe, a local golden pocket, as well as your 200-day moving average coming swooping down here, and we almost kissed that 200-day perfectly. But more importantly, the main thing that made me enter this position was the fact that we had a bearish divergence forming here on the daily time frame, which is very bearish. You have your higher highs on price, you have your lower highs on your momentum waves on the daily time frame. And when you have a bearish divergence on a time frame like the daily, typically they play out pretty strong. So I entered, somewhere up here, and we have been riding this thing down for a while, trying to see if we can make our way down to this support level. But nonetheless, a winning trade. So happy about that. If you guys want to sign up for Femex and trade your favorite coins, long or short, definitely go ahead and check out our link in the description down below. We have an awesome Femex deal for you guys. Depending on how much you deposit into your account, Femex will deposit some bonus funds for you to trade with, and it helps support the channel if you guys want to help us keep the lights on here at the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. So I think that's all I got for this update video. Now you guys have the key levels that I am watching, and you guys know what I am expecting price to do in the next few days. And you have those key levels to watch. Remember, if we lose that point of control and bearishly retest, it is likely we will come down to those range lows. So with all that being said, guys, that's all I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll.